Hi everyone, it's Brave here again. I just wanted to say some positive words. When people you try to be kind to and you've tried to get close to, even if they're just people you wanted to be friends with, you weren't trying to be romantic or anything, you just wanted to be friends and be a supportive human being to them. If they keep hurting you just because they see that you care for them, your care is, similar to like love for another human being. You're not trying to be romantic, you're trying to make them feel better, you're trying to make them laugh, you're trying to make them have that safety net of anytime you need someone to talk to, anytime you're down, anytime you just need, you know, anything, any emotional support, I'll be here. So you're trying and trying and trying to convey that this is what you are offering. You make it clear you're not trying to be romantic, you're just trying to be a good human being, right? So sadly, some people, because of their trauma that they suffered in childhood or even as adults, they can become a bad version of themselves, not because they're a bad person at heart and not because they want to be a bad person, but their trauma is causing them to react from a place of brokenness, a place of rage, a place of mistrust. And I can understand that too, but the difference with me though is that I don't want to be a bad person. I don't want anyone to think of my name and have a bad thought and be afraid or worried or, oh no, she's such a bad person. Like, I want to invoke happiness in people when they think of me. So yes, there are times when people have offended me, mistreated me, and it was clear, like at first you would give them a chance and say, look, I know you don't know me that well, and therefore you may have said something or done something that you didn't know would offend me because we didn't know each other that well. And however, when I say to you, these are the things that you did that upset me, this is the reason why it upset me, it triggered this or it made me feel this, and you trying to be as like you're trying to help them coexist peacefully with you. You're giving them your the cheat sheet to be close to you. You're saying, for us to just have a happy normal friendship, this is what we need to do. Follow these steps. Don't disrespect me, don't ignore me. And you do it if you're ignoring or ghosting someone to hurt them, if you're doing it to try and force them to be obsessed with you, that is a bad thing. Now, I know some people think, oh, I love when I ignore someone and they start running after me. Well, you're not really putting that is a bad thing to want. You shouldn't want anyone to feel bad when they think of you, to feel obsessed when they think of you. If someone cares about you, they're going to feel you want them to feel good when they think of you. You don't want them to be angry when they think of you or sad or depressed when they think of you. You know what I mean? Because that's abusive, and that was probably done to you. So if you're doling out the same treatment that you hate that was done to you, what does that make you? Doesn't that make you the very thing you hate? Doesn't that make you like the exes who hurt you? All the people who mistreated you in your life, why are you mimicking them? Stop mimicking them, because if you truly are a good person, and yes, you've been broken by life is horrible and hard, and I know some people have had terrible atrocities happen to them and their family members, and for that I am truly sorry. For that I truly am, wishing you peace and protection and hoping your life can get better. But the thing is, when you allow that pain and brokenness that you feel to come out of you and hurt and destroy other people, that means you're becoming the evil you're fighting against. So when you fought against your evil ex and got away to safety, you refuse to be disrespected anymore, you refuse to be hurt physically, sexually, whatever was happening to you, you got away from that because you knew it was wrong, you knew you didn't deserve it, you knew it wasn't your fault, you got away. Whether you got away in a short space of time or maybe it took you longer to get away, Because some people, when they're with abusive partners, the abuse doesn't start off immediately. It's gradual. It's like first someone will be tricking you and pretending they're perfect and supportive and loving, and they'll love bomb you, and then you'll be like, wow, this person is amazing. So they'll rush you along with the fake love into thinking you could get married and have kids and have a whole beautiful life in this short space of time where you barely know them, but they've made you think that I'm Mr. Perfect, I'm Mrs. Perfect, let's just go into the sunset. And obviously when someone does that to a broken person, the broken person thinks they've won the jackpot, or their dreams have come true, and they jump at the chance because they don't want to believe this person is tricking them. They don't want to believe this person means them harm, because who wants to believe that? Just like how I had terrible narcissistic, violent, sadistic parents who enjoyed seeing the pain in my face, who enjoyed beating me up every night for years. I didn't want to believe that that was what was happening, but that is what was happening. Now, looking back, I can clearly see the sickness in them, but back then I just wanted the pain to end, and I didn't, like, I still felt like, oh, but I love my parents, why are they hurting me? That's the sad thing. When bad people hurt you, sometimes the victim stops loving themselves. They don't stop loving the abuser. But I'm not that person. I never stopped loving myself, But the sad thing is, there was a short moment of time where I did get confused and say, like when my dad abandoned us, and then he'd only come in with violence. And then sometimes he'd come in with other kids, like stepkids, who were not his biological kids, shared no DNA with him. And he would bring them like to my house where I lived with my abusive mum, separate from him. So I just grew up with my abusive mum and disabled brother. So I was very isolated. I didn't have tons of family. I was just stuck with my abuser. And then the only time I was around other kids was when I was at school or went to friends' houses or whatever. And when one time he hadn't seen me for years, and I was very young. Perhaps he hadn't seen us for like 5 years. And he had no contact, no idea where he was. But we were living in the same house for a long, long time. And then he just shows up with these 2 girls, and they look nothing like him, nothing like me. So I know they're not his kids. And so I'm like, oh, where have you been? It's been 5 years. And he's like, don't ask me questions, like really stupid. Like he always had a stupid answer. You could ask him, could you buy me a 50-cent pencil, and he would say, stop begging me for things. Like, what kind of loser is that? When you're not begging him for anything, you just want to have something that your parent got for you, sentimentally, because this person never is there for you. And you see all the other kids with things their parents got them, and things that they can keep and say, this is my dad's watch, he gave it to me, it means something to me. This is my granddad's, I don't know, cufflinks, after he died, I was given these mean something to me, even though they're inanimate objects, but we place meaning on things, from people we care about. So this Christmas, he shows, oh, hold on, I think I'm going to sneeze, hold on. Oh my God, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, I might sneeze in a minute, I hope it's not too loud in the microphone. Oh my gosh, itchy nose. Hold on, yeah. Yeah, so he shows up, and like I said, it's been at least 5 years. We haven't heard from him, haven't seen him, asked his family where he was. They wouldn't tell us where he was living or give us contact details. So his family were abusive as well. And it was such a weird situation. The way he made us feel unloved, and like it wasn't enough for him to just physically abandon us, because even if a man and a woman are not in love and they end up having a child and they're not married and they're not in a real relationship, the dad can still come in and out of not come in and out, he should be consistently in that child's life. Unless you're away in another country as a soldier, if you live down the road, I don't see why you can't come every weekend and spend time with that child, because that isn't even enough. But if that's all you can do, it's better than nothing. But you shouldn't be coming in with violence every time you come in. You should be coming in with good intentions, trying to make the child feel better, and not wasting money on, objects, because objects mean nothing. All I wanted was time and the recognition, the acknowledgement that you recognize I'm your daughter and you love and care about me. That was all I wanted. That costs nothing. Why can't you give that? But clearly, because of their personality disorder, they couldn't give it because their messed up mental state wouldn't allow it. So when he came with these two girls, I had instant hate for these two girls, because I'm like, look at him with his hand on their shoulder, look at him ushering them in with care like he loves them. How dare he give these strangers the love and care he refuses to give me, and I'm his real kid? That infuriated me, and I was only young, like maybe 9 or 10, and I just remember feeling so much anger and sadness and rage at how this man has abandoned me, will not walk with me down the street and say, hey, this is my daughter, to anyone he meets. Like, it was so aggravating, and just really, I didn't even know how to respond. I just stood there staring at them, like hating them, and just so sick of, like, thinking, why is he here? It's been 5 years, and then you show up just to let me know that oh, by the way, I still don't care about you. So like I said before, it's like as if it wasn't bad enough that he abandoned us, never financially contributed, never emotionally contributed, never even spoke on the phone or wrote a letter or sent a telegram or a fax. Like, what kind of person is this? Like, I mean, so the thing that when he came in, it was like he didn't even sit down. He literally just stood with his arm around each girl. So he's in the middle, and the two girls, which were about the same age as me, which was weird as well. He's got his hand on each of their shoulder. He's in the middle, and then he's like, "These are your sisters." And I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Are they your biological children?" "No, but I'm with their mum." I said, "So they're your stepchildren. They're not my sisters. I only have one sister, and I don't even like that bitch because she's horrible. My mum's older daughter. She was just so jealous of me for no reason, and it was like, I'll give you a reason to hate me, since you're hating me when I was a 4-year-old innocent child who didn't do anything to you. When I got to 10, I was like, oh, I'll give you a reason to hate me." So I would just ignore her. So you see, that's how I know when people ignore you, ghost you, use silent treatment. They're doing it to hurt you, because the only reason I would ever not talk to you is because I want to hurt you or give you the message that you don't matter to me anymore, or or I'm angry with you and that's why I've stopped talking to you. You need to change your behavior, then I'll start talking to you again, But most other people, they will use silent treatment, ghosting, or in and out communication, up and down, weird communication, or tricking you and saying, yeah, call me, and then you call them and they won't answer. So they provoke you to chase them, and then they reject you. And it's like, oh my God, this is so, this is so ridiculous. Like, anyway, so then he's like, after I said, no, they're not my sisters, I don't know them, and they're not part of you, and I have no choice but to be your daughter, but you don't treat me well. He goes, oh, guess what? And I'm just staring at them like, get out of my house. Why are you in my house? So it's Christmas, so it should be a nice, happy time for me, and he didn't bring me any gifts. Not that that was important, but it's just, he goes into this little monologue speech about, oh, I'm going to take them on holiday, and meet my family. And I was like, oh, really? Meet the family I've never met? Okay, weird. Then I just stood there staring like, so, because by that point I was dead. Like, any feelings I had for this thing that shared my DNA, called a dad, because he'd never been a dad. He'd only been an abuser when he came in before. And so I was numb, but I was still angry, obviously, but I was numb. It didn't hurt me the way he thought it would. And this is what people don't realize in recent events, is that you can't hurt me the way you think you can. You use silence to try and hurt me. It doesn't have the reaction you think it's going to have. You think people are like, I'm talking about people who I've met recently who clearly enjoy my kindness and love and attention, but then part of them runs away from it because they're afraid of commitment or they've been hurt in the past. When I'm just trying to be a friend, I'm not trying to be in your life like a girlfriend. I'm never going to come to your country or whatever, or these are people who live in other countries who I'm never going to meet face to face. So you don't have to fear me trying to be in a relationship with you. We're never going to touch, we're never going to see each other beyond a photograph or a FaceTime if you want to FaceTime. But I can still be there for you. I can still talk good, speak positivity into your life. I can still be that safe haven if you come to my country. You know what I'm saying? So so when people recently have tried to give me silent treatment, they thought, ha ha ha, it will make her obsessed with me while I go out and talk to these people who are down the road from me or in my area, because those people he can be close to, right? And I don't blame him. Go and find someone who you can physically touch, physically hold, physically talk to. That's good. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I'm not going to be jealous of that. I'm just a friend. I'm just trying to be a good friend. So when these people recently who I've been trying to be kind to, when you saw that she's not getting obsessed, she's getting angry, and then they're thinking, oh well, the anger will turn to jealousy because she'll be like, oh no, he's with some other woman. No, that doesn't make me jealous. I want you to go out and find a good woman. I want you to go out and find someone who will care about you and keep you safe, and you keep them safe. I have no, like that. If someone's jealous of you moving on with your life, that's a bad thing. It's like, even when I left my ex-husband, I still loved him at the time and I wanted him to be happy. And I said, if I'm not the one that makes you happy, I want you to find the one who will. Because clearly, if I'm doing everything perfect and it's still not good enough for you, then clearly there's no one out here who exists that will make you happy. So if there is someone out here who's better than me, go find her. And I really meant that, not in a sarcastic way, but in a literally, go and find someone better than me. You're telling me I'm not good enough, yet all I've done is be kind to you, be loyal to you, literally doing the old fashioned wife thing, like having your dinner on the table when your key is in the door, doing everything you want, and it's still not enough. But yet, what are you doing for me? No emotional support, no like looking out for me, no protection if someone tries to attack me in the street, nothing. What are you doing for me? All you're doing is taking my love and giving me nothing. So what am I leaving behind? If I leave you, it's not like I'm leaving anything. I'm just leaving someone that I wasted a lot of time giving a lot of love to, who didn't deserve it, sadly. And once I took those rose-coloured glasses off, that was preventing me from leaving, because I'm just thinking, no, he's just having a bad day. How many years are you going to be in a bad mood, having a bad day? Because I've got stress too, and yet I still treat you like a king. I'm not doing it anymore. So I remember saying to him, the day I decided to leave, like physically leave, we were in a pub eating some lunch in the daytime, and I just remember he said something so stupid, something so cruel, out of the blue, like, because I was sad, obviously, because I knew I was going to tell him, like, I'm not happy. And I didn't even know if that was the day I was going to leave. I thought, am I going to be strong enough to leave him? Because I still loved and cared about him. I didn't mean him any harm. I didn't want him to feel pain, but I knew he was making me feel pain every day with his emotion, his lack of emotion, his lack of care. It's as if he cared about everyone else except me. He talked to everyone else great and happy and jokingly, but I get none of that. The only time he would act nice to me was in public, but that was so that everyone thought he was a great husband. And then I would pretend and lie and say, yeah, he's great, when he wasn't. So I remember just eating the food, a bit down, knowing that I'm not happy. This is going to be a huge upheaval. I'm going to have to move out. And so I said something to him, hoping he would give a kind reaction, and he didn't. And I just said, okay, you win. Clearly, I'm a piece of crap according to you. My kindness means nothing. My love means nothing. All the stuff I've done for you means nothing. You know, when you were homeless, I saved you. All these things I've done for you. Apparently, I'm a piece of nothing. So you win. I'll leave, because clearly you don't want me here, because if you did, you would treat me like a human being that you wanted to be around. But you you mistreat me, you use me up like I'm some service provider, and I'm not. And so you win. I'm leaving. And I got up and I paid the bill and I left and I walked home. Like, it was a long walk as well. I didn't even get the bus. I should have got the bus, but I was so distraught and angry that he could have just loved me the way I loved him. But obviously there's something wrong with him. He had a mental issue, a personality disorder, because any normal person will just love the way they are loved. You will treat people the way you want to be treated, you know? So when someone doesn't treat you the way you want to be treated, or the way they should treat you, it is hard to leave if you truly love them. And sometimes some people don't even love the person anymore. They hate them because of all the resentment that builds up from the mistreatment, but they still don't leave easily because a trauma bond is keeping them there, or codependency of, oh, I'm so used to having this person around. Maybe that person's got a car and you don't, so you're like, oh, now I'm going to have to walk everywhere or carry all my shopping, or oh, maybe I'll just stay in this misery so I can at least have someone to drive me around. Like, some people think like that, like if they don't have a lot of money and the husband is the breadwinner with the money, you know, or vice versa. Like, but I just definitely remember just something snapped in me that just said, this is the moment, get up and go. You thought you wouldn't be able to leave, but he just made it easier for you, you know. And then what happened, I literally, the next day, he's like, oh my God, I can't live without you. Oh, I can't believe you. Like, he kept calling me that same evening, a few hours later, and I didn't answer. I looked at the phone and thought, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? Because at that point, I had been staying with other family members, so I wasn't at the home with him. That's why he's calling, because I'm not with him. So when I say I walked home, I mean I walked to my friend's home where I'm staying. Friend or family, I can't even remember, it so long ago. Probably a friend's house. So I was just staying, and then I stayed at family, you know, between them. And then so when I ignored him, then he's emailing, why won't you answer, I need to talk to you. And I thought, why is it that when you want to break away, that's when people want to hold you close and tell you everything you want to hear, but when you're there for them, they treat you like shit? So I ignored the messages, and then it was in like 3 days later. So for 3 days he hasn't heard from me. He has no idea what I'm doing. I wasn't on social media doing anything, putting anything up. I was just quiet, you know. So he had no idea what I was thinking, or who I was talking to, and I wasn't talking to any new men. I wanted to be left alone. I just was keeping myself to myself. So I'm just in my flat alone watching TV, and I was so like numb that I didn't even cry. You know, you think I would cry, and I thought I would cry, but it's just, he broke my happiness so much that I didn't even have tears for it, you know. And I was even surprised, like, wow, I'm so sad this person ground me down that I don't even have enough emotion left to cry, you know. And so my narcissistic, horrible mum, when I told her about it, she was like, why are you leaving him? Oh, he's got a good car, he's got a good job, you know, you could have lived in New Zealand, like you lived in New Zealand, like you could have stayed with him and just used him for that. And I said, well, I'm not a user, so why would I use him for that? He was using me like a human teddy bear and accepting all my love, and that wasn't okay. But I still stayed with him because I didn't want to hurt him, but he had no problem hurting me. I don't want to be like, I should have left after year 2, you know, not stayed as long as I did, stayed a lot longer in an unhappy situation, you know. And it's like, there were so many opportunities for him to change, and he didn't change. And then I come to realize that, he had personality disorder and bipolar stuff. Like, I found that out after. And I didn't realize he was taking medication until a long way into the marriage, that he did have some mental issues that he hid from me. So I'm glad I didn't have kids with him, because then the poor kids might have inherited this family dysfunctional thing that's been passed down through their family, because I think the mum had some bipolar issue too, so he's inherited it. And so when my mum's telling me, oh, just stay with him, I was like, why? Tell me why. She can't tell me why. She's just an idiot giving crap advice. So then I said no. So then he's literally like, he keeps emailing me, oh, I'll do anything you want. Oh, that holiday I refused to go on, we'll go and I'll pay for everything, and I'll pay for you and all your friends. And I thought, what a bunch of crap. Like, what kind of future faking is this? Because when I had offered to pay for myself and my friends, you refused to take the time off work. Yet when we broke up, I heard he was flying around the world, distracting himself from the pain of me leaving him. He could take all the time off work he needed and fly around the world and go on holiday here and go on holiday there. And so why wouldn't you just go on holiday with me up the road, a cheaper holiday, but now you've got money to burn flying around the world, getting over your misery and pain? Like, ridiculous. Because I never asked him, like, we already traveled the world together. I had my own money. I never relied on him for anything. If anything, I was giving him money and loans and stuff all the time, because he was crap with his money and I wasn't, and I had savings, and I always worked, like. But, it's just so sad to know that so many good-hearted people are stuck with snakes and parasites and horrible people who just, like vampires, that suck the life out of you, suck the joy out of you, use you for your money, take anything they can from you, and it's still not enough. That's the sad thing. They make you feel like nothing you ever do will be good enough, even though you are more than good. You are amazing, you are awesome, and they are jealous of you. They know they're not a good person. They enjoy hurting people, and that is wrong. And we, as the good people, have to learn to detach, have to learn to numb that part of us that keeps reaching out, because yes, it's natural to want to not hurt someone. If you're a good person, it's natural to want to stay in touch. But what is the point if someone refuses to speak to you? Then how have you got a relationship to save or a friendship to save? There is nothing to save. If they think that ignoring you for years, like my dad did, ignoring us for years, was a fun game for him, all it did is make us hate him and not want to see him again. It didn't make us obsessed with him. It didn't make us chase him down the road. We didn't care. We just said, this person is trash and we don't want him in our life. My dad was so pathetic. And when I spoke to those two girls, like years later, and they found me on Facebook, and I, even though I still hated them for some reason, because it reminded me of that memory, I said, I asked them questions like, why was my dad taking you on holiday and buying you stuff? And, was he that close to you? And they said, no, he was just lying about that crap. He was like using us to make you jealous. And I thought, really? And she said, yeah, he was horrible. In the home with my mum, he used to hit her and stuff like that. And I went, so that was a narcissistic thing he was doing, called triangulation, trying to make people jealous of each other, trying to push people against each other, when he had no intention. And he's future faking by saying, I'm going to take them on holiday, I'm going to take them to Disneyland. What do you think of that? I won't do it for you. And that was the hurtful thing, that he looked in my face. He's waiting for the pain in my face. He's like, do you see how much I don't care about you? That's what the message he's giving, even though he's not saying the words. But how else am I supposed to take it? It's like if a husband cheats on his wife and the wife says, well, what has she got that I don't have? And the husband goes, well, she's younger and prettier and she does everything I want. You're old and ugly and I don't care about you anymore. How else would you take these things? Like, obviously that example was more direct, but like, it's just, I probably said that the wrong way round. But it's just weird to me how, like, why the heck is someone coming to my house? I didn't invite you here. You're not welcome here. We just happened to unfortunately be in the same house for many years, so you could keep showing up. I wish we'd moved and then we would have never seen you again. That would have been better. But to have the audacity of this bitch to show up at our house at Christmas time with no presents, it's the tradition. You, even if you brought a box of chocolates that cost $1, like, come on now. And for them to be that nasty, to bring some prop children, to be like, look at these children I'm looking after, giving them all the love you didn't get, giving them all the stuff you should get but won't get. Understand? I don't care about you. Do you understand? And I'm looking in his face like, oh, I understand, but you're not going to get the pain and the anguish that you got out of me when I was younger. And I'm just staring at him like, I don't care. I'm just rolling my eyes and like with a sarcastic smile on my face, like, okay. And then he's still trying, like, because he's annoyed that why is she not reacting? Why is she not angry? Why is she not hurt? Because he's trying to hurt me. That is the thing that makes me laugh about recent events, where someone was trying to hurt me with their silence. And I was like, go and live your life. I don't feel hurt or obsessed. I feel angry that you wasted my time, but that anger will pass. I've been through much worse. I've toppled badder people than you. I know it's your brokenness. I know it's your narcissistic personality disorder that forces you to behave this way. So I don't even blame you anymore. At first I was angry and blaming you, and then I thought, this person couldn't change even if they wanted to. Their personality is stuck because of their disorder and their mental issues. Just pray for them, because their life is so not the way they want it. Their life is, if they're lucky, they will change their life. But the chances are, sadly, they won't. They're going to stay stuck in that really dark, horrible space. They're going to hook up with women who will use them and feed their addiction and steal from them, steal their money, steal their joy, abuse them, laugh at them behind their back. I don't envy anyone who is stuck in a terrible, dark life where they have no happiness and no hope. I need to pray for those people. I try to save them and help them, but if their mental issues won't allow you to do that, and then it becomes a thing where they're fighting against you for no reason, they're hating you, they're trying to force you to be obsessed with them. And it's like, well, I already was here for you. Why do you need to force me into a dark headspace when I was already here for you in a positive headspace? But, now I'm not here for you. Now I am going to break away, not to hurt you, not because I don't love and care about you as a human being. There's no romantic connection. It's just me caring, loving and caring about other human beings. There's other types of love, as in not romantic, not sexual. And that is what I'm trying to convey to this person in America from Tennessee. I said to him, you just need to try and sort your life out, and I will help you and I will support you. But sadly now it's obvious they've got a mental issue, a personality disorder, and sadly they're gonna suffer because of it, because they're not going to go towards the good people. They're going to push the good people away like they did to me. They're going to abuse the good people, and then they're going to walk down the road and walk straight into the arms of a nutcase who will abuse them. And they'll allow it, and then they'll complain later and say, I can't understand how I'm being abused. Well, you keep walking into the arms of abusers, and even when their red flags are waving right in your face, you won't take yourself away from them. And when good people come to you and they're good, you're telling them you don't trust them, you hate them, all women are evil. Well, yeah, there's a lot of evil men out there too. Men, women, there's evil children out there, but I wasn't one of them. And I think you knew that. But I'm just going to focus on helping everyone I can in the world, keeping my own self strong, keeping myself happy and my vibration high. Like, it's like you really have to take it one day at a time, because I literally felt like I didn't want to live last week because of some horrible uh, corrupt justice system crap that I had to go through with some corrupt police officers and letting someone go who'd committed a crime against me and my family. And now I'm, it's like I'm just going to keep praying on it. And I know that karma has no deadline and they will be punished for doing all this corruption. And I'm not going to let it get me down. There was a depressed moment where I was just like, damn, I don't want to be here, and I don't want to trigger anyone by saying that. But now my vibration's high again because, I've got good news came in after that bad news, then some good news came in, and then I was like, okay, good, like keep your vibration high, keep yourself strong, because just like how last week, how when I felt so low, if I had just taken my own life, then I wouldn't have been around to get the good news that would have countered that evil. I would have just given up because all of the stress was too much. So at least now, it helps me remember that, you have to try your best to keep strong and keep going, because your blessing or your safe haven or something, your rescuer, something could be coming literally the next day, the next week, the next hour. You might get the phone call with the good news you need that you've been waiting on, and then that sometimes can give you some, that can, sorry, some idiot is banging the, hold on a second.